Good morning, everybody. It's ready for Tuesday morning's devotional. It's a beautiful early morning, sunrise behind me. This is a great day. But we're talking about Joseph. We find his story in Genesis chapter 37 onwards. And we're talking about the wonder of a man who really knew what it was to really trust God. To trust God in plenty. When he had the coat of many colors, he learned and experienced God, saw the vision that God gave for his life. And then as a young man being thrown into a slave pit, sold as a slave to Potiphar, who was to be his new boss. We don't know for how long, but for a period of time, Joseph was a slave to this man. But Joseph's attitude towards God affected every area of his life. That even though he was a slave, he was a good slave. Even though he was a slave, he worked hard and he lived with integrity and honesty. And it wasn't long before Potiphar saw the difference that David had made and the difference that David was. And he declared, surely God is with this man. Now that's a great declaration to make about anybody. But surely God is with this man. And when God is with a man, things have to be slightly different. His life should portray different things, different values, different morals, different ethics. And so he saw Joseph and he raised him up through the ranks and he made him ultimately a steward. Now, it's this what I want to talk about today. Joseph moved from a slave to a steward and became the favored worker in Potiphar's household, right up to the fact that he had control of all of Potiphar's money, his business, and everything. He was a good slave, made him an even better steward. Now, the difference between a slave and a steward is a slave is told what to do. A steward uses his initiative and uses what he has been given to do what he needs to do. So the steward aspect of what Joseph's life was about was he used everything that Potiphar had to make Potiphar look better. That's what a steward does. He just uses what he's been given, and he uses it well. I thought about this in the context of what Jesus spoke when he spoke that amazing parable about the rich man and his stewards. The rich man, he says, went off, called 3 of his stewards to himself, gave each of them different quantities of talents, and said, when I come back, let's see what you've done with what I have given you. The man went away, came back some time later, and he called his stewards to account. What have you done with what I have given to you? And the one steward had done really well. He had 5 and he doubled it up and he gave him 10 back. The other one had 2, he doubled it up and he gave him 4 back. And then the last one only had 1 and he gave him 1 back. And the king, or the rich man, was not very impressed. He was not at all happy with that. And he declared him to be a wicked and a slothful steward. Now, the thing about it is frightening, is that Jesus said that's what's going to happen to all of us. At the end of the day, there will be a seat where we will stand before, and God is not going to judge us on the basis of sin anymore, on the basis of heaven and hell. It'll be on the basis of what have you done with what I have given you. For the ones who had done well, there was a wonderful accolade, a wonderful commendation. Enter into the joy of the Lord. Well done. I'm going to give you everything that you deserve. And I guess at the end of the day, we will have to stand before that same seat and answer the same question, hopefully get the same result. That when God asks us, what have you done with what I have given to you, we'll have a good story to tell. All of those 3 that stood before the king told a story, but not all of them told a good story. So I would encourage you today. What has God given you? What has he put in your hand? What time, talent, treasure has he given you? And he has given to you for a purpose. It's not for you. You do know that, hey? This is for the cause of the kingdom and for the betterment of the spiritual journey that you are on. And my prayer for each of us today is that when we get to stand before God one day, we'll have a great story to tell. I hope that this is good for you today as you evaluate your own life, because God has given every one of you. Don't anybody ever say, I haven't got what other people have. You have got something. It might be different, but it's what you've got. So use it well so you can tell a great story. Thanks, guys. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.